Yeah, that's getting pretty heavy. Alright guys, in the last video we had a look at putting a melody together and just how to get up different instruments, load them up, put some work in the piano roll, make some alterations, work out basic triad chords and things like that. We're starting to get a busier project now, so I think we should just do a little maintenance. So you see where we've got track 1 through 4 here. Now we've been naming our patterns as we go, but we've not been naming these at all. So we can, right clicking on them, do rename color and icon. So let's have it as kick and let's assign a color to each one. I'll normally do sort of oranges for percussion, but you can obviously do this however works best for you. I'll do slightly different variations on it for each one as I go. Tops and things like that, I'll normally go more of a yellow so I can quickly look at them. I'll just mark it as tops rather than hats. So we might include things like shakers in the same set of patterns. We'll call that keys. And we normally go purples around there. That just gives us a little bit of organization and we know what we're doing where. And also if we start bringing automation in, we can color the lanes the same so we know what is working with what. So I think the next thing we're going to do is just look to put a bass line underneath the chords we've already put together. And we're going to do that by using an 808 and creating an 808 distorted bass line to go under this and see how we can get that to work. So we're going to go to our 808 here, and this is just in packs under drums. If you've got your own sample pack, go ahead and use that. Principle will be the same. We're going to right click and we're going to do open in new channel. That's going to give us this just here. And what we're going to do is take our melody from here. So if we hold Command, highlight, Command and C to copy. If we hit F2, we're going to go, and if we click up here, we'll take a new pattern. We'll just put bass in, and we're going to do 808 kick 2. We're going to drop that in there. This is probably going to be quite a high octave. So if we hold Command and press down, we can drop it down in octaves. Press L to put it in loop mode. Cool, and that gives us a bass line nice and easy just by pitching down that kick there. We're going to take it a little bit further though. So if we just loop these first few bars, we can hear in context what that's doing for us. Well, that's okay, and it's reinforcing the notes. It would be useful to be able to change them and have a little bit of our own sound to it. So we're just going to use what's in the sampler here. If we go on pre-computed effects, we're just going to put clip on and just give it a little bit of a boost. If we go to the icon up here, we're going to turn the envelope on here. And you'll hear now that attack's gone because we can control the envelope of the sound. We still want it to come in, but we just want to get rid of that kick type sound. We want to get rid of the pop and have it come in like that. We have some more sustain. I'm going to reduce the decay a bit. Bit longer on the release there. So it was like this, and now it's like this. Go back to the pre-computed effects and quite like it clipped. Now we can also look at holding the notes a bit longer in here. So let's make the first one last right until the second beat on all four. So we've got some variation in length now as well. What we could do as well is do a bit of a crossfade. We could trim the sample down a bit and we could crossfade it into itself, make it so it sustains a bit. Let's see what we've got. What I've done there is just change the root key from C to E there. And it's just changed the overall tone of the 808 and how it responds, and it works a little bit better with the melody there. We've also brought it back up an octave as well. And we're going to use the low pass here, and we're just going to take some of the top end back off. I think we're going to bring the piano down in an octave as well. Do you know what? We're going to change the piano sound out entirely. I just don't like it. Let's try and see if we can get away with FL keys. And we'll keep that melody, but we'll put it up an octave so it's really on the high notes. And we're going to try and build out a new chord progression. And I'm leading off of F sharp. If I remember rightly, we're in F sharp minor. One thing with FL, it doesn't keep the key you're in per project. Yeah, that's correct. So let's use the stamps here and take some, so what we'll do, we're just going to try and build some further chord progressions out. And we could potentially lower this as well. What we'll do, we'll have the same chord again, strike here, and then we'll bring a variation in. For this, instead of striking the same chord, we'll strike this chord twice. And we'll use this chord again on here. And we want to bring something here that is going to beg for a resolution, which perhaps something like that. Yeah, that works. What we'll do is bring it back to around here. What we might do here as well is take this as our new chord line. I'm going to bring this back down. Yeah, I'm going to take these down in velocity. And the notes we copied, we're going to make a much longer bass line. So if we highlight these, do Function and Delete, we can do Command and V, and that's going to drop these chords in here. So what we'll do is use this to make our bass line, and we'll take some of the lower notes on each, step through, just give us something like that. And we'll need to bring this up probably 2 octaves. What we're going to do with that is we're going to be ruthless with a limiter and really crush that sound to give us this really solid low end. So I'm going to bring FL limiter in. We're going to dial the ceiling back a little bit to about 0.3 and bring a bit of saturation in for about 1 dB, and we're just going to hammer this up. See how we're losing a lot on the sustain here? That's due to the nature of the sample only being a certain length. We could crush it a bit harder. I think this melody really needs fixing now. I'm going to get rid of the second one. Kind of feel we could sacrifice the notes and just live with the chords for the time being. Yeah, that's getting pretty heavy. One thing I will say, we're losing a lot of the kick to the bass. So let's just have a look at setting up a sidechain real quick. So if we go into the mixer and onto the kick, we can then look at the bass where we've assigned our 808 bass. And if we right click down here, we can do sidechain to this track. This sends a silent signal of the kick to this channel. And in our frequency limiter here that we've already got loaded, if we go to the comp section, we have a bit here that says sidechain. We can right click it and see what's assigned to it, or we just drag up to 1. And now every time the kick happens, it will trigger this compressor. So to set that up, we need to give it a bit of a ratio. We need to bring the threshold down. So you can see this top section here, that whenever the kick triggers, it's taking out this much of the bass. Now the curve here can be really useful. You see how it's quite jaggedy on the release? We could put the release up. It's already quite high. If we use a different curve, it will hold it a little bit better. You can see the difference between the two there just by changing the curve type. Now we can be really extreme with this if you want and have it completely take the bass away. I find it best just to have a balance between the two. So I think that's enough for this video. What we'll look at doing in the next one is bringing back our top line melody, and we'll maybe program it in with something else.